need something for fun. And so this started as a hobby. This was fun for Eric and I to do together.
And then a year and you're like, wow, holy shit, this is for real.
Yeah, it just kind of evolved. Like I think it kind of took off a little bit on social media, and I think I call it luck, but that makes it sound really passive. Like we just have been really fortunate with the community that has kind of rallied behind this. And things just kept evolving and things just kept growing. And I've always wanted to own a bakery. Like in my corporate role, it was like, "What's your dream job?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to own a bakery because it was my biggest hobby my whole life." And then we were suddenly in this position where suddenly we were owning a bakery, and it was like, let's try it. Let's see what it looks like if you quit your job. And Eric was still working full time, and thankfully we could live off of his salary, and
Yeah, because I was
we
gonna
gave
say,
it a
I mean,
shot.
a lot of people think this, but they don't act on it. So what actually made you take that leap?
I think it was more a worry of would we regret not doing it. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where we sit now is, are we going to spend our entire life regretting not making this decision? And I think it's really easy to stay comfortable in a corporate job. That's the comfortable route because that's what you've been conditioned to do.
Hmm.
And entrepreneurship and taking leaps is uncomfortable. I mean, there's uncomfortable parts of a corporate job too, of course. But I think it was more, would we regret this? And we see an opportunity ahead, so why not? And I also think I feel very fortunate because Eric was the most supportive partner I could ever ask for. He was the one saying, "Let's do this. Why don't you quit your job? Why don't we do this together? Like, here's what it can look like." He's more of like the vision person than I am. I just wanted to bake, and it
Yeah.
it
You're
sounded
the execution, like you want to execute on it and do.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like I didn't thrive behind a desk, and I thrived in a kitchen where I could, work with my hands. And he was behind it the whole time saying, "I think we can do this, and I think we can do it together. And why don't you take this first step to do it?"
That's awesome. Um, so and I think when you say it, I'm curious because it's like when you said I kind of had this aversion to, being entrepreneur. I agree because my parents they owned their
Yeah.
own businesses and it was feast or famine. And so
Hmm.
for me, I was like, no, I'm a corporate girly all the way. But I think that we can still resonate with what you guys
Yeah.
did because it's like I left a industry I was in banking for 25 years to come to government contracting, which I knew
Yeah.
nothing about. So I love that you guys just took that leap and that he's like rah rah behind you,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't know,
Yeah. I
I think
think
that's
you
so
have to
cool.
have support behind you. Um, I it's something that I'm very grateful for. I have a very supportive network, and like people cheering us on mattered. And
Yeah.
like I feel very, very lucky for that.
What did it look like in the early days then when of building Dough Lady where you're like, "Oh, this is just fun. Maybe this is a hobby," like.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, it was a lot of work, but it was also a lot of fun. Eric and I look back on those days and it's like the funnest, most fond memories, but everything was pre-order, so and we did pickup or delivery. So people would come to our townhome and pick up cinnamon rolls, which like the trust of strangers, we would just like
Isn't it crazy?
leave it out
I
on the
always see these
porch.
memes are like, my wife's ready to like sacrifice her whole family to sell a $10 item on Facebook
I know.
Marketplace. And I'm like, yeah, I have them come to my house.
My address was out there forever. Like when
Yeah.
I finally moved, I was like, "Ooh, hallelujah!"
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna come for me in the night.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of driving around the valley. I mean, we would do deliveries all over, so we would load up after our corporate jobs. I remember I had a 4 o'clock brand meeting to my old coworkers. I'm so sorry. The reason I was off video is because I was baking.